The Hidden Trap of Complaining, a story about thoughts, healing, and the power to choose. Let me share something with you today. Not just an idea, but a perspective shift. One that's subtle, yet powerful. And it all starts with something we all do. Something that seems harmless on the surface, but has a far greater impact than we realize. Complaining. Now, before you tune out, thinking, "Oh, here comes another talk about staying positive," just stick with me. Because this isn't just about being positive. It's about taking back your power from something that quietly drains you every single day. The irony of complaining. A few weeks ago, I had lunch with a longtime friend, David. Wise, thoughtful, a bit of a philosopher in his own right. We were discussing how so many people seem weighed down these days, stressed, sick, burnt out, emotionally drained. And then David said something that made me stop mid-bite. You ever notice how people even complain about people who complain? We laughed at first, but then the silence settled in and I realized he was right. Complaining about complaining is still complaining. We do it so unconsciously. We vent, we gossip, we rant, we sigh loudly and roll our eyes at the news. But every time we do, we're feeding a cycle, a pattern, a habit. And the worst part? Most of us don't even realize we're doing it. Edward's story, A Life in Resistance. David then told me about someone he'd recently met, an elderly man named Edward, late 70s, a retired school principal. His body was slowing down, his energy was low, and his eyes told the story of someone who'd carried more than his fair share of burdens. Edward had this way of speaking that was almost poetic, full of nostalgia and melancholy. He'd say things like, "Back when I had strength in my legs. These days, people don't have values anymore. Doctors just throw pills at you and send you home." It wasn't what Edward said that struck David. It was the frequency. It was how often he found something wrong, something to criticize, something to lament. But here's what really got me. Before Edward ever complained about his knees, his failing memory, or his illnesses, he was already complaining about everything else. About politics, about neighbors, about the younger generation, about technology, about his children, about the world. His body may have grown weaker over the years, yes. But David said something I won't forget. I think Edward's illness didn't just happen to him. I think it followed his mindset. Let that sink in. The mind-body connection. Now, I'm not saying that every illness is caused by a bad attitude, but let's be honest, our bodies listen to our thoughts. Science backs this up. Chronic stress, frustration, and negative mental patterns activate stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this compromises our immune system, affects sleep, increases inflammation, and contributes to disease. Now think about it. If day after day, week after week, your internal dialogue is filled with, "This is so unfair. I can't believe they did that. I'm always getting the short end of the stick. Nothing ever goes right." That becomes your baseline, your norm. And over time, it shapes how you feel, how you heal, and how you age. Claire's story. Youth doesn't guarantee wellness, but this isn't just about older people. Let me tell you about someone on the other end of the age spectrum. Her name was Claire. Early 30s, bright, driven, funny, but exhausted. Not just tired, but worn down at a soul level. Constantly anxious, unable to sleep, plagued by digestive issues and tension headaches. But here's the interesting thing. Claire wasn't complaining about her body. Not directly. She was complaining about her job, about her dating life, about her co-workers, about her past. But day by day, those mental habits translated into physical symptoms. Her body began mirroring the tension she carried in her thoughts. The pattern of resistance. See, here's the truth no one likes to admit. Before we complain about our pain, we complain about the world. And no matter what the target of the complaint is, whether it's your partner, your past, your boss, or your body, the energy is the same. resistance. And resistance is the opposite of healing. Complaining isn't just a behavior, it's a frequency. It's a signal to the universe that says, this is what I want to keep noticing. And the more you notice it, the more it grows. Chun. So what's the alternative? Now here's the part I really want you to hear, because this isn't a message of guilt. This is a message of freedom. Whether you're in perfect health or dealing with illness, whether life feels light or heavy, the path forward is the same. Guide your thoughts, not with fake positivity, not with denial, but with intentionality. Start small, start honest. Instead of, I'm so tired of everything, try, maybe today is a chance to breathe just a little more. Instead of, nothing ever works out, try, some things are hard, but I've made it this far. Instead of, I'm so sick of being sick, try, I'm open to healing, even if it's slow. These thoughts don't erase the pain, but they shift your vibration, and over time that shift creates space for healing. Chapter 9. Final thoughts. The power to choose. You are not powerless. Your thoughts are not background noise. They are the canvas on which your life is painted. Complaining feels familiar. It feels justified. But it traps you in the very state you're trying to escape. So today, I invite you to do something radical. Choose the thought that feels just a little better. Notice what's working. Lean toward peace, even if it's subtle. Because every time you do, you reclaim a little bit more of your energy, your health, your joy. You'll start to remember who you were before the world taught you to expect disappointment. And you'll find, maybe for the first time in a long while, that healing doesn't come from the absence of struggle, but from the presence of alignment. So if you've been stuck in the habit of complaining, don't beat yourself up. Just pause and choose again.